Hey guys, Chime here, tuning in post New Year's. It's the 2nd now of January 2020, and I hope that everyone had an amazing time. It's funny because so much effort and thinking and expectations go into the holiday season, and here we are after Christmas and New Year's have both ended. It seems to me like Thanksgiving just came and now that's over too. It's a bit crazy to me how quickly time goes sometimes, but I want to talk about this idea of expectations and this idea about our self created vision of the future compared to the actual experience we have in the moment that we might have been thinking about prior to having that experience. The holidays are a perfect example of expectations and assumptions being made that often don't coincide with how the actual experience goes. And this can go in a few different ways, both positive and potentially negative ways. Oftentimes we assume for our own survival from adaptation, we assume potential bad outcomes so we can prepare for them. And this helps us be ready for the worst. And this helps our chances of survival. But what happens a lot of the time is we might try to project ourselves into a situation, say with family members or into a social situation, and we start making assumptions or predictions about how it will be to experience this future moment. Yet, of course, we can only at best be in the ballpark of what might happen, and this is in no way accurate to our actual experience of this moment. Yes, we might be around certain people who we've been around before, and we might be in a certain setting that we've been in before, but our actual perception of that experience is going to be fully unique to that day, that night, that moment. So for us to project ourselves into the future, we are using past experiences to predict the future, but we don't know even close to the amount of details necessary that are going to be at play in that moment to get us to an accurate picture of what that moment will be like until we're in that moment. And even then, in that moment, so many millions of variables go into that actual experience. Did we get enough sleep? Did we get days off from work? Did we talk to some good friends? Did we have a conversation with a family member who we weren't expecting to talk to? And now the whole entire day and night experience moment is unique to this moment. So trying to expect anything often leads us to a degree of dissonance, meaning a gap from where we thought we were going to be to where we actually are. And that dissonance, that I thought this night was going to be the best New Year's night of my life and I was going to kiss my love, that expectation, and then compared with the actual reality of, maybe the bars were crowded and I didn't get to have many conversations because I couldn't hear myself think over the music. And now these two different experiences, one that we expected and the one that we actually got, create this gap of what we wanted to happen. And now this gap is suffering. That's where we're disappointed, we're let down, we're bummed out because we didn't get what we wanted. And on the converse side, we can maybe miss out on a night because we say it's going to be so bad. I'm going to have such a bad time. I know what this is going to be like. I know who those people are. I know what that place is like. I'm not going to have fun. And then maybe you do go, and now you realize, well, this isn't so bad. Yeah, I'm with the people that I was with, who I knew that I would be with, and I'm in that setting that I knew I was going to be in, but here we are. I'm having this experience while I expected this. But if we had stayed at home, we never would have gotten to experience the actual experience. So by projecting ourselves into the future, expecting this, it's very possible that we miss out on these amazing experiences that we could not possibly have foreseen, because no situation is the exact same to another situation. The simple passage of time, the progression of yourself and others in the world through time changes every situation. Nothing will ever repeat exactly. And to further the point of it being non-beneficial to project and expect things from the future, oftentimes, and I think most of us have heard this, oftentimes when you do expect something, you actually start to create that reality. When you say, I'm going to have a bad time, and then you do go out and you do experience that moment, but the whole time you're thinking, I'm going to have a bad time, and then you get there and you're thinking, well, why am I here? I'm going to have a bad time. You probably will have a bad time. So the ultimate message I want to convey here is that by not having any expectations, you give rise to the possibility of anything. And this, of course, you might go out and have a night where you say, they played songs I didn't like, and I didn't necessarily enjoy the bar because of X, Y, and Z reasons. Yet, if you don't have any expectations, then you're not disappointed, because you weren't expecting to go have the best night of your life. You were simply going out because you wanted to go out and be with friends or see family members at a Christmas party, whatever it is. You're going out simply for the sake of going out, because on some level you want to do this thing. Maybe it's because it's more fun than not doing anything, or maybe it's because you feel obligated to, because you'll be with people who you feel obligated to see. But nonetheless, if we don't expect anything, nothing can go wrong. Things just are as they are, and then we have to deal with them as we must. But there's no good or bad, because we're not comparing them to anything. They just are. The first time you've ever gone to this place, this time will happen, and then you'll leave, and then life will continue. And when we expect something, we're creating our reality, both in this moment while we're doing the projecting, and then also when we arrive at that moment. So we've not only trapped ourselves into the likelihood of a bad experience because of our projections and expectations, but now we've also taken ourselves out of this moment here. And if it's this negative thought processing, now we're actually making our immediate moment not enjoyable, because we're stressing already about what's going to happen in the future. So now this moment has been dampened, and the future moment has now been changed. So ultimately, I don't think there's ever a scenario, unless you need to recognize that, hey, the last time that I went ice skating and I didn't have the proper skates, I got blisters. Yes, definitely ice skate, and don't wear the wrong size. You can use your mind to understand previous situations and then account for current or upcoming ones, but you don't know what your experience will be. Even if you wear the wrong size ice skates, you still might have the best time of your life. You just might have sore feet the next day. So ultimately, we're always better off not expecting anything, simply allowing what is going to happen and what is happening to happen, and then preparing as best we can. But there's nothing more to it besides allowing the things to come, because then whatever comes, you're not disappointed. And if it turns out to be something that you really like, now you're pleasantly surprised. So I wish all of you a wonderful, auspicious new year. I hope that resolutions are fulfilled and expectations are dropped. Cheers, guys.